course it's fucking not. I want to see this. Oh. No, too offensive. I won't put it on fucking description.
Main and alternate account. From German infantry to SS divisions, and even Hitler's personal jacket. It's actually quite impressive how many uniforms he was able to upload. I'm surprised to see this many get past Roblox's moderation.
So you don't know anything about you don't know anything about Roblox, I assume, because many people know that back then they didn't give a shit. They didn't care. In 2009, 2010, they did not care about what you wore. They didn't care. They didn't have moderation like they do now.
System. But on that same note, however, some assets VMK had uploaded for his German faction were not so lucky. My guess is that one of his uniforms boasted a swastika on it, as he would make quite the unhinged forum post around this time, complaining about Roblox's moderation. He said there were too many rules.
An accent people can understand. The game sucks, too much rules. Also, the game might be designed for kids that make such big deals out of things they don't even understand. Plus, the swastika and they scream at you. Plus, the Soviet emblem, they allow it. They could split the age groups, but they continue to integrate them. They continue to ban and use the excuse the game is designed for children. The game is designed to be a sandbox game. It was formatted into a kids game. First example of this world will be unmodded Lewis scripts. Dude, I don't even know what a Lewis script is. It's probably some OG.
Why Roblox would ban the swastika, and not the Soviet hammer and sickle. Of course, nobody really agreed with him, but there were some people that did. A user named Kainali was one of the only people that followed VMK since his abdication from the Halo faction. He had followed VMK through thick and thin, and was determined to help VMK with his next project.
So now we got bootlicking on Roblox. We had bootlicking on Roblox. I didn't know that. I mean, I'm not surprised now, but like back then, ooh, I didn't know we had bootlicking in 2009 on Roblox. I didn't know people were that. I didn't know people were that. I didn't know people didn't. They have a lack of care for themselves. I didn't know they had that. I didn't know that they feel like they can be dominated for a Roblox. These fucking people. In what fucking universe do you think that you should be like controlled by a Roblox user? Just think about that. I'm sorry, I'm scared that somebody in Roblox gonna kill me. People are so like, yeah, it's not a new thing. It's just gotten worse.
Project.
Are you a Roblox fanatic? Microsoft Rewards has a brand new way for you to earn.
AI fucking fat ad finally.
After the release of Halo Reach, which, by the way, is the best Halo game of all time, the popularity of Halo on the platform had skyrocketed. More people than ever before were interested in joining and fighting for a Halo faction, and VMK didn't like this. The Halo genre as a whole was undoubtedly more popular than ever before, and he was no longer in control. So VMK would start over, scrapping his German group, and he would make an entirely new Halo faction, but he would have to abandon his VMK account to start on a fresh slate. His reputation was already stained. His new account was named Alpha Loopy, and he would use this account to try and replicate his earlier success. For the sake of the video, I'm just still gonna call him VMK, just so it's easier. Anyways, there was a huge brick wall that was preventing him from making any progress. K-Rut and his Halo group were massive at this point. In fact, he almost had a total monopoly on the genre, but this wouldn't exactly stop VMK. He had a master plan brewing, and it must work. Kane Ali and VMK would approach K-Rut with an offer. They would merge whatever following they had into his Halo group, and control only the Marine detachment. K-Rut was reluctant. He asked VMK a pretty important question. Didn't you lead a Nazi Germany faction? But VMK had a very clever response. Actually, my cousin was in control of my account and he did that. Sorry.
Nowadays, nobody's falling for that. Nowadays, like, most people, they're not there that, but anyways, like, that's still, like, a poor excuse, like, nowadays, like, I don't think anybody's gonna fall for that now in 2026, unless you're, like, a kid. Actually, my cousin was in control of my account. My evil Nazi cousin was in control of my account. He did that. He controlled everything for the past couple of years. So, but yeah, that was not my fault. That was his.
Sorry. K-Rut would believe this lie, at least for now. And he would accept the proposition VMK had initially offered. And for now, it seemed like a happy ending. Everyone seemed to get along. But this wouldn't last very long. VMK and his followers had essentially Trojan horsed their way into K-Rut's faction. From the inside, they would gather a larger following and spread ideas of dissent. And before long, they would attempt to coup K-Rut and take the faction for themselves. Of course, this wouldn't be very successful. He didn't have enough influence within the community to even achieve this. He would then be forcefully removed from the genre, hoping to be never seen again. His hope in the Halo community was essentially gone at this point. But he still had hope for a new project, one that would pretty much change Roblox forever.
Now, will it fucking change Roblox forever? Is that the fucking question I'm gonna ask? Because you're just like, this is just a fucking drama story. This isn't like the fucking, like the Roblox, Schlep situation. This is like so much more unimportant than this. This is like a fairy tale for chronically online people who don't get it, who actually don't go outside. Like, these fucking... And there's like chapters to this fucking... Why is there chapters? They need to teach this in schools.
A TV series known as Rome was pretty popular around this time. It showcased a historical depiction of the Roman Empire. It focused heavily on the drama and the scandals, and the almost dictatorial power dynamic. It was loved by the general audience, and among this audience was VMK Sillin, who found himself more inspired rather than entertained. It lit a light bulb in his head. He would follow a blueprint laid out by the TV show, which depicted the Roman Empire as a hierarchy, with the emperor at the top, followed by his councils and an organized senate. The emperor would have almost complete control, making the majority of the faction's decisions. The emperor was also worshipped in a way. The councils were handpicked by the emperor with the purpose of helping to maintain control. And now the senate was a bit different. It was filled with influential figures, and the purpose was to create a board of directors almost, which would aid in decision-making and military reforms. But it would be pretty difficult to replicate this in Roblox. The game features were pretty limited, but VMK Sillin, who had now changed his username to Your Caesar, of course inspired by Rome's Julius Caesar, he'd already made up his mind. And so he gathered his close friends and he built out a government, which mirrored the Rome TV show. One of his Senate members was...
Now, like, I never watched this show, but like, hearing that this was like popular back then, I'm pretty sure like the fan base was pretty much like 90% people like this, where they think that like fascism is just like, I don't know, something like, they think it's just, it's kind of hard to fucking explain, but like, they think it's some like sovereignty. They think that like they can like actually like try to reenact these shit on a fucking game. And that's just unbelievable because first off, this guy already tried once, tried twice. Third time trying to get into it. Kind of hard, really weird thing to hold on to, a random show called Rome after Halo Reach. This guy's interests, it's pretty Reddit coded, if I gotta say so myself.
Mark Antonius. I'm just gonna call him Mark for now. He was a pretty good developer on Roblox, and he was well experienced in coding, building, and designing on the game's engine. He had created a game for Your Caesar's Roman project, known as Roman Parthia. It was pretty revolutionary at the time. It was equipped with a resource-gathering system, an economy, custom-made weapons, and even a building system. And as a result, the game became very popular. Roblox themselves even made a video on their YouTube channel showcasing this game and its revolutionary technology. And as a result, this would bring so many new players to the game. And all of these people would eventually find themselves joining and participating in Your Caesar's Rome.
Get your comrades together and prepare for battle at Roman Partha by Mark Antonius. In Roman Partha, the objective is to team up and attack enemies, and clearly the setting is ancient Rome, so players have to craft their own swords, armor, shields, clothes, and tools from resources nearby. This is a nice break from first-person shooters, but it's still a blend of old and new, since it revisits classic sword fighting and introduces the concept of shields. Along with this, players are given an excellent GUI and a gorgeous map. At the time of review, Roman Partha had nearly 300,000 visits and 84% thumbs up with no access fee. If you have a good group of friends and you like to raid, definitely give this game a try. It's entirely possible to go in solo and form a team on the fly, but it's probably better if you play with a group of players that you know and trust.
Trust. I get it.
Eve to me is...
That, like, you know, that was deep because it said trust like 5 times. So I know that it's, it's very deep because it's the complete opposite of trust. That's how these fucking people act like in these videos. The average viewer of somebody who actually enjoys these fucking videos are just like that.
Basically freedom.
They're
It's a
fucking
giant
nerds.
open universe where you
Caesar's Roman
In fact.
faction had exploded. It was pretty much the largest group at the time. Of course, this would feed his ego. He felt as if he had so much influence. And in reality, he did. He was seen as a pretty big figure throughout the group and on Roblox as a whole. But he was worried that rebellion would soon brew, a threat to his control. After all, in the TV show Rome, the emperor was betrayed. In real life too, of course, but the TV show was your Caesar's main point of influence, and he wasn't very fond of the idea of being betrayed or losing his position of power. So he would enact some pretty major reforms in the group, most notably the organization